Creating custom Pokemon for you! Welcome back, everyone, to the show where we select lucky commenters to spin a series of random wheels that give us factors for a Pokemon that we then create just for you. It's gonna be an awesome episode today, y'all. We're gonna make 3 amazing custom Pokemon as always, so I hope you enjoy. And if you end up wanting a custom Pokemon for yourself, then don't forget to leave a comment because I'll be randomly selecting people from this video's comments for the next episode. But without further ado, let's get into the first Pokemon. And this one will be for Dino Kid. Glad to know my videos are enjoyable at any elevation. But anyways, Dino, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you are going to be a starter. Nice! And it means that now we have to spin this wheel to see what type of starter you'll be, the fire, grass, water, or electric, and it is a water type starter. Now, obviously, we already have the official water type starter for Pokemon Void being Codonaut, but who said we're only ever gonna make one game? And of course, it could always be put into the game not as a starter. But anyways, it'd be pretty boring if we just left you pure water type, so let's still spin this wheel to get a secondary type, and it's the bug type. There's definitely never been a bug type starter, probably for good reason, so this episode is starting off difficult. Need a hand? How about 100? The first stage of your Pokemon is Buoyant, the floaty Pokemon. Despite being a water type, this squirmy little centipede is actually not able to swim, at least not very well, and has instead developed a flotation device around its own neck that will at least ensure its head stays above water, allowing it to breathe, while its many insect legs rapidly wiggle, propelling it forward at a sluggish pace. And upon reaching level 17, it'll evolve into Skid Sack, now sporting a body completely made out of floating sections. This Pokemon almost looks like a string of life preservers. And while yes, this does actually completely prevent it from diving below the surface of the water, for this Pokemon, that's actually not a problem at all, as by instead dashing across the surface in rapid zigzagging motion, it's able to gain incredible speed and maneuver its way around even the most precise of attacks. However, this does make it very ineffective when fighting its fellow water types, as if they stay deep enough, Skid Sack literally can't reach them. And upon reaching level 35, it'll evolve into Rescapede, a super long and dexterous centipede centurion. This Pokemon is able to fire its watery attacks out of all of its legs. That's right, all of them. So considering this Pokemon's insect inspiration, that means trainers should expect a near constant volley of bubbles and beams, firing in all directions until the enemy is defeated and the battlefield is flooded. In terms of stats, Rescapede is pretty balanced, but it does have notably good speed and special attack. And for the shiny, I went with this brown and yellow color as a reference to real-life Centipede. But now let's get into the second Pokemon, and this one will be for Drobot. We're actually doing something very similar to that you should see in the new update coming soon. But anyways, bots, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you're going to be a convergent evolution. Fun! And it means that now we have to spin this wheel to see which generation of Pokemon will be making a convergent for, and it's Gen 7. Nice! So now, of course, we'll spin this wheel that has every single Gen 7 Pokemon on it, and we got Komala. That's definitely a super unique Pokemon, so that's a really good result. And now let's see what new typing we'll be giving to this convergent Komala. Your first up is the Dark type. An evil Komala is definitely interesting, and you're actually pure Dark because your second type was none. And the last step, before we see which Pokemon looks like, let's see if it has an X Factor, and just barely none this time. It's a Nightmare on Route 1. Your Pokemon is Comare, the Bad Dream Pokemon. Just like its Alolan counterpart, this Pokemon is always asleep. However, whereas its regular version soundly catches Z's, Comare is trapped in a near constant nightmare, leaving it too stressed out and tense to fend for itself. So how does this Pokemon even survive? Well, that's thanks to its shadow, a manifestation of all the dark dreams coursing through Comare's head. This shade is incredibly powerful and protective of Comare, guarding it with its life and ensuring its survival. And this makes Comare one of the hardest Pokemon for trainers to tame, as its shadow will attack trainers on sight, beating them to a pulp before picking up Comare itself and running away. However, legend says if a trainer is truly pure of heart, they may convince the shadow to entrust Comare's safety to them before disappearing forever and allowing Comare to finally wake up. In terms of stats, Comare's Shadow gives it really good special attack, but its high levels of stress make it quite slow. And for the shiny, I went with this lighter color palette as a reference to the original Komala. But now let's get into the third Pokemon. But before we get into the final Pokemon, it's time for the member modifier. This is the segment of the show where we take a fan favorite Pokemon from a previous episode in the series and give it a brand new upgrade. I think it's inevitable that all three of our starter Pokemon will get Mega Evolution. So for today's episode, I had my channel members vote between which starter Pokemon to give a Mega Evolution to first. And the winner was Galilidai, the fire type starter, which when exposed to Galite will evolve into Mega Galilidai, whose long body has elongated even further, now resembling a true shooting star of cosmic energy. This Pokemon is so fast that if it chooses to fly into the sky, all you can do is make a wish. Huge thank you to all my channel members, and for the shiny, I made its flames white because I thought that looked awesome. And today's third Pokemon will be for the god. That actually is a really good idea. Maybe if we ever put Celipine in the game, we'll do that. But anyways, guy, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you are going to be a fossil. That's really cool, and it means that there actually wasn't any regular Pokemon today. And now we'll spin this wheel to see how many times your fossil Pokemon can evolve, and you got 0, which means you'll be a one-stage fossil, just like Aerodactyl. And now let's see what typing your fossil will be, besides, of course, the rock type, and it is the psychic type. That's actually pretty interesting. We'll be making a very intelligent fossil. And the last step for see which Pokemon looks like, let's see if it has an X factor, and none this time. Hey Dum Dum, gimme Gum Gum. Your Pokemon is Moilith, the Easter Island head Pokemon. Hailing from a time where the planet was filled with prehistoric mindless bees, this Pokemon is curiously modern, as not only does its sleek frame appear to resemble a human head, but it's even been found to be capable of levitation, telekinesis, and teleportation. However, just like the Easter Island heads for which it's based, this Pokemon's origins are mostly unknown. As now revived, Moilith can be found positioning themselves defensively on the edge of cliffs facing the ocean, as if they're preparing for the arrival of a great ocean threat yet to be discovered. In terms of stats, Moilith is an absolute special defense tank and is pretty fast, but of course that means its offenses are just okay. And for the shiny, I turned its silver exterior into solid gold. If you liked today's video, make sure to check out all the other episodes of the custom Pokemon series that can be found in this playlist. As always, huge thank you to all the artists that made today's Pokemon. They can all be found in the description, so make sure to go check them out. And I'll see you all in the next episode, but until then, peace.